Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Terry Hegarty at the Big E. I'll bring you the sights and sounds of New England's great state fair.
I'm Rebecca Drake. I'll introduce you to a Southwick parishioner who is still full of faith and fun at 96.
And Dan Dumas takes a look at what's happening in and around the Diocese of Springfield. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel from the Big E in West Springfield.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel as we come to you today from the Big E, the largest fair in the Northeast and the 5th largest in North America. This is the 98th year for this New England State Fair with big talent, lots of food, animals, rides, shopping, and so much more. This 17-day extravaganza features a daily Mardi Gras parade, the Big E Circus, and everyone's favorite, the giant yellow slide. And of course, there's a special exhibit here this year at the Big E. It's dedicated to the 1964 World's Fair in New York City. We will talk to Gene Cassidy, president of the Big E here in West Springfield, coming up in just a bit. But first, our own Terry Hegarty had the tough assignment this year to sum up all that there is to do and eat here at the Big E. We gave him 6 minutes and 30 seconds to do just that. Let's see if he makes it.
So, the clock is ticking. I have just 6.5 minutes to present all that New England's great state fair has to offer. Fitting 98 years of history and fun into a short piece can best be accomplished by showing you, rather than telling you, about the 2014 Eastern States Exposition. When starting your adventure here at the Big E, the sheer number and variety of activities can be overwhelming. So rather than decide what I wanted to do, I thought I'd ask fairgoers what some of their favorite activities are.
I'm thinking probably the state buildings.
Yeah.
Enjoyable to, again, see what's there every year and see what's different.
We actually came for the food. We've been waiting all day for this, haven't eaten all day, been waiting for it.
I come every year, first day with my grandfather, and I've been doing it since I was little, so it's something really special, and so is the Big E.
Some had a hard time narrowing their favorites down.
My favorite part is the Mardi Gras parade, and I like going on all the rides, and just the food is amazing.
There's everything you can think of. There's rides, entertainment, there's food, there's shopping. It's everything you can do in one little place.
All right, I have to admit there are some downsides here at the Big E. If you misbehave, you end up in jail. But the only thing I'm guilty of is having fun here at the Big E. Once out of jail, I was perfectly happy just playing ball, but I had to keep moving. Many of the people we spoke to today said their favorite thing about the Big E is the food. And a favorite ingredient in many of the foods is, well, I can't say it too loudly, bacon. I actually passed on the reportedly delicious bacon peanut butter pizza in favor of a baked potato with pulled pork. All right, well, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. I'm all ready. My pork, my baked potato, it is a meal and a half. Now I see why food is the favorite of many fairgoers. Also on the list is shopping, all that the state buildings have to offer, the Big E parade, and the ride. But I still wondered, not so much about what people's favorite things were, but how much they knew about the exposition. That's why I initiated our infamous Big E Trivia. And right off the bat, we happened upon the one person who should have no trouble with even our toughest questions. True or false, the television camera adds 10 pounds?
Oh no, that's false because I know for a fact the camera adds 22 pounds.
22, okay, all right. How many pounds does the Big E add with all the food here?
Well, that's a great thing about the Big E. You do so much walking, you burn off all the calories.
Okay, all right.
The good thing about trivia is, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to make it up.
I went on to see how others would fare with our demanding inquiries. See if you can tell me how many state buildings there are here at the Big E.
All in the United States. What are they saying?
Right.
No,
Oh, that's the question.
She said 6.
6. She said 6, and
I
you?
counted 6.
6. All right, you win.
I win.
You win my gratitude. How's that? True or false? The Big E is fun.
Yeah.
So here we are at the 1964 World's Fair exhibit. True or false? You were alive in 1964.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely? By a lot?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
was
don't like it.
24 years old.
Oh, dude. Big E takes place in A, Erie, Pennsylvania, B, Guatemala, C, East Springfield, or D, West Springfield.
Actually, we were in Guatemala earlier this year, and I didn't see anything like this. So I'm going to have to say West Springfield.
Despite what I thought were some pretty challenging questions, all who tried Big E trivia were up to the task. True or false? Once you're at the Big E, nothing else matters.
That is so true.
That's true. That's true. True or false? The Big E used to be called the Big D.
Ooh,
Tough one.
I've never heard that before. I don't think so.
So what are you saying?
False.
False. You're right. True or false? What happens at the Big E stays at the Big E.
True.
That's true. Okay. So, although we're on camera saying this, so, you know, I don't know if you want to say anything that has happened. Okay, all right, that's fine. A few contestants were more challenging to interview, including Henrietta, the talking cow. So let me ask you a trivia question. Actually, this one's multiple choice. Where does the Big E take place?
West Springfield.
Oh, wait a minute. That was multiple choice. All right, you got that one. Okay. Where's chocolate milk come from?
It comes from me. They just add a little bit to it.
I even felt brave enough to pose a question to someone who's well known, but not for his voice. The Big E has lots of A, animals, B, people, C, cars, or D, all of the above. D. That's your answer? And you're correct again. Absolutely, you got it. Mr. Big E, you are very smart. You don't say a lot, but I like it. You're very smart. Thank you. Well, I wasn't able to get any trivia questions answered from these guys, but whether it's your favorite activity or not, visiting the animals is a must-see for any trip to the Big E. At the end of a long day at the Big E, you may be sick of walking. So there's also the option of simply sliding. Woo! Ho-ho! And we're done. Well, not quite done. With 8 seconds left, I have just enough time to say, reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.
Well, that was one tough assignment, Terry, and great job. And joining me now is Big E President Gene Cassidy. Thank you so much for having us today, Gene.
Thank you, Sharon, very much for having me.
Now, Gene, this fair has been here for 98 years, and it spans generations, and it must be so exciting for people to come back year after year.
Well, it's really exciting for us who work here, for certain, sure, and you know, I think that we've proven a great tradition for all of the region. We are now the 5th largest fair in North America. A great venue for family entertainment. It's a very wholesome place to bring your family, and we try to do our best to bring entertainers that appeal to many generations, and I think that accounts for our popularity in the region.
Mm-hmm. Now this year you have a very special exhibit, and we're standing here in front of it, the 1964 New York World's Fair. How exciting. What can you tell us about this?
We had an opportunity to introduce people to the World's Fair, and we said, let's capitalize on that. So we brought some iconic imagery from the World's Fair here. And it's funny because a lot of the images are kind of quaint when we look at them in the context of 2014, but when the World's Fair was produced, it was cutting edge. And like the Big E in 1916, when we had our first fair, we were very cutting edge at that time too. So we have an original 1964-65 Mustang here on display behind me that appeared at the World's Fair in 1964. And I hope it attracts people to see this tremendous exhibit that we've built around the 50th anniversary of that World's Fair.
Now, people still have one more week, tomorrow and a whole nother week, to experience the fair. What can they look forward to?
We close on the 28th of September. We've got incredible new food items here at the fair. For those of you with children, or you who are children at heart like me, some awesome new rides. We've got great entertainment. So there's many compelling reasons to be here. If for no other reason, this is such a comfortable place and a safe place to walk around. And I hope that you are as proud of this place as I am.
Well, best of luck to you, Gene. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you, Sharon, for being here at the Eastern States.
It's our pleasure. And still to come on Reel to Reel, Dan Dumas has a look at what's happening in and around the Diocese of Springfield. And David Martin has a story about faith formation at St. Francis Xavier Cabrini Parish. These stories and more are still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel from the Big E in West Springfield.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to take time out of your busy day and join us Sunday morning at 10. This week, we welcome Bishop Mitch Rosansky as our Mass presider as we celebrate Catechetical Sunday here in our diocese. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, right here on 22 News.
Good food, good people, and a really good cause. Be a part of it all at the 15th Annual Catholic Schools Advancement Dinner on October 1st at the Castle of Knights in Chicopee. This year's dinner is dedicated to the memory of Sister of St. Joseph Betty Gould, who served as superintendent for 21 years. Honorees include Monsignor Homer Gosselin, pastor of St. Elizabeth Parish Community in Ludlow, Estelle Zarnecki, a longtime volunteer at Holyoke Catholic High School, Father Christopher Malatesta, pastor of St. Agnes Parish in Dalton, and Sister of St. Joseph Julia Sullivan, former principal of St. Joseph Central High School in Pittsfield. Chris Thompson, the Vice President of Business Development for the Springfield Falcons, will be the distinguished alumni speaker. Call 413-452-0670 for more information or tickets. Don't miss out on this great way to support Catholic schools and honor some great people.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news brief. They have each given 50 years of service to God's church, and last week, 14 Sisters of St. Joseph were honored on their jubilee. Carolee McGrath reports.
Surrounded by family and friends, 14 Sisters of St. Joseph processed into the chapel at Montmarie in Holyoke for a special Mass celebrating their Golden Jubilee. The sisters have served the church and the community for 50 years, and they say they'd do it all over again. Sister Lillian Riley spent many years as an educator, teaching at St. Mark's School in Pittsfield before becoming the principal at St. Mary's School in Westfield. She also was the principal at St. Thomas in West Springfield.
Each day, get up and do what you think is right for that day. Always trying to follow the mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph, that all may be one.
Sister Mary Ann Hemingway entered the congregation from St. Peter's Parish in Worcester. She also spent many years teaching at Cathedral High School in Springfield and at the Elms College in Chicopee.
I'm celebrating today not just my life, but all the people who have touched my life in the different ministries I've been in, whether it was teaching, taking care of elderly people, working in a parish. I'm celebrating all their lives too.
Sister Helen Perry is from Jamestown, Rhode Island. Sister Perry taught at Holy Name and Holy Family schools in Springfield, among others, and then she was the principal at Mary Immaculate School in Holyoke. She says she wants to encourage young women considering religious life.
I would acknowledge, first of all, that she has lots and lots of options, and that this certainly should be one of the options, because there's so many things available that our congregation and all the congregations do, and she could have a wonderful life of service.
Also celebrating their Golden Jubilee are Sister Judith Rosenthal, Sister Eleanor Harrington, Sister Joan Dumais, Sister Sharon Knappe, Sister Constance Dobb, Sister Mary Bisson, Sister Eleanor Spring, Sister Angela Dady, Sister Catherine Alimo, Sister Diane Roncarati, and Sister Winifred Roulier. I'm Carolee McGrath reporting.
Finally, the devotion to the new saint, Saint Kateri, is strong. Rebecca Drake has the story on the dedication of a statue to the Native American saint.
Local worshipers now have a special place to pray to the Lily of the Mohawks, Saint Kateri Tekakwitha. Thanks to the generosity of an anonymous donor, a new golden statue of the saint was dedicated and blessed recently at St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica Parish in Chicopee.
We ask you now to bless the shrine of St. Kateri Tekakwitha in Chicopee.
Conventual Franciscan Father James McCurry conducted the blessing and was the principal celebrant of the noontime liturgy. He says St. Kateri is a great model of charity and care for the environment.
She's a great model for young adults, and because she was on fire with love for God's creation, a great patroness of the environment and ecology.
The saint is also an example of the ethnic diversity of the Catholic Church, says St. Stanislaus parishioner Aleli Huber.
I think it's just so wonderful for all of us Catholics to be able to see that Catholics are of all ethnicities, and it doesn't really matter. Our job is to follow God and to spread the gospel.
Worshippers present at the dedication were blessed by a first-class relic of the saint, who suffered facial disfigurement and visual impairment resulting from the smallpox virus. And like many others present, Father McCurry has had a personal devotion to St. Kateri for many years.
She's one of my favorites up there in heaven. That was long before she was declared even blessed, let alone a saint.
And for those who would like to pray in a special way to the Church's first Native American saint, the statue remains in its permanent setting outside the friar's residence at St. Stanislaus Basilica.
And remember, you can log on to our news and information website, iobserve.org. There you'll find up-to-the-minute and accurate news in the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and beyond. You can also see video reports from Reel to Reel and from the award-winning team at Catholic News Service. That's our news and information website, iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Reel to Reel News Brief.
As we celebrate Catechetical Sunday tomorrow, we recognize the dedication and hard work of those involved in faith formation in the church. Reel to Reel's David Martin has our next story highlighting the Generations of Faith program at St. Francis Xavier Cabrini Parish here in West Springfield. It's truly a way to pass the faith along in a family.
Celeste Labby, the religious education director at St. Francis Xavier Cabrini Church in West Springfield, said the parish's revamped religious education program, titled Generations of Faith, is a very different experience because children and adults are learning at the same time.
By having the parents join the sessions with their children, it really helps the whole family unit as one understand what faith is, what the Catholic Church wants of them, what Christ wants of them, and it helps them bring that message into the home because they're all experiencing it together.
Celeste said the program allows the entire faith community to learn about their religion as a group in learning sessions that are appropriate for their age category. She said Generations of Faith has 3 components to it. The first is 3-hour learning sessions which take place 6 times a year instead of every week. Second is taking what they learned about their faith and putting it into action in an entire church event. And third is a home kit to facilitate continued learning at home. The kit contains materials that will help participants remember what they have learned during the session, such as magazines, prayer cards, and worksheet activities. St. Francis Xavier Cabrini parishioner Nelson Picard said the home kit allows his family to sit down together and review the information. He said it works well for his younger son, who is autistic, because it helps him learn about religion step by step.
With our faith, there's always a lot to learn, and I know to this day I still feel I have much to learn about God and His church, and it's been great for the kids too.
Nelson Picard said Generations of Faith is the perfect title for the program because with each new generation, changes come, and the church has to evolve too. But he said younger children can acquire from adults what they learned as children. He said young people in the program seem to enjoy having the older generation present. Generations of Faith sessions include 3 segments. First, all age groups meet to learn what the message or theme is for that session. The groups are then divided into individual learning periods for preschool age through adults, and the sacramental classes are separate, but presented with the same message for their age level. Later, everyone comes back together again to share what they learned.
It takes the entire church community and gives them an opportunity to truly understand what not only their faith is all about, but all the events that we participate in the church, what they mean.
There are 6 rotating themes for Generations of Faith, so that each year a different theme is concentrated on. After 6 years, the rotation begins all over again, but other aspects of each theme are focused on, so that something new is always learned. Celeste said the Creed was chosen as this year's theme because it contains the central beliefs of the Catholic faith. Jeffrey Gold is a Westfield music teacher who provides music for St. Francis Xavier Cabrini Church. His own sons are involved in the Generations of Faith program at his home parish, St. Francis of Assisi in Belchertown.
This new program, I mean, Celeste is one of the hardest working Catholics you're ever going to meet. So she always has her T's crossed and her I's dotted, and I feel like that translates over in the way that the people engage in Generations of Faith. I mean, I only see good things happening. It's going to continue to grow.
Jeffrey said working on this education program in both parishes is a great augmentation to his faith. He expects more parishioners will find interest in learning together with their children through Generations of Faith. For Reel to Reel, I'm David Martin.
Of course, the backbone of every parish, whether it be the religious education program or other activities, lies with the dedication of its volunteers. At Our Lady of the Lake in Southwick, Norma Yourous, who is 96, is a model of parish stewardship, helping in religious education, summer Bible camps, as well as other endeavors. Rebecca Drake had the opportunity to meet this remarkable woman and prepared this feature.
Whenever there is music, worship, and fun at Our Lady of the Lake Parish in Southwick, 96-year-old Norma Yourous is likely to be right in the middle of it.
I was always singing. I think I was born singing.
The Westfield native, whose maiden name is Battistoni, first learned to sing the Italian songs her father taught her at age 3.
La Mariana la van campagna finché sol tramonterà, tramonterà, chissà quando ritornerà. And that means Mary, this little girl goes, La Mariana, her name is Mary Ann, goes to the mountain with the animals, and when the sun rises, but we don't know what time she will be coming home.
Along with her love of singing, Norma also fell in love with her faith at a very young age as a student in the original Cathedral Grammar School.
And I remember the sisters taking us into church for all the special masses that were going on. Sometimes when the bishop was doing the mass, they'd take us in to see the masses. And it was really something.
Norma's family moved to Southwick when she was 16, and there she continued singing in a bar owned and operated by her parents, now known as the State Line Station. And there she also met her future husband, John Yourous.
Nice Polish boy in the bar, a very church-going boy, because I would see him at church every Sunday.
The couple married, had 7 children, and eventually bought the Southwick Bar from Norma's parents. John died in 1993.
He was very, very, oh, I don't know, such as not perfect. No, I can't say he was perfect. None of us are perfect, but he was such a terrific guy. Everyone liked him.
Norma also lost her oldest son last winter, but her personal sorrows and struggles haven't stopped her from giving her time and her love to her parish.
From the time I first came, down the aisle comes this lady in a wheelchair at Mass very, very faithfully, but not only on Sunday Mass, also coming whenever she can, and that was most of the time, at daily Mass.
In addition to her faithful Mass attendance, Father Henry says Norma participates in as many social and educational activities as she can.
Here's a woman in her mid-90s still wanting to learn, coming to the weekly Bible study. She's just incredible. I mean, wherever the action is at the church, Norma is there.
Spending time with Norma Yourous, it's easy to see what keeps her going: faith, fun, and her love of Jesus. As she shares her gift of singing with the parish children, Norma also shares with them her deep faith, telling them how much God loves them.
I said, look at the tree. I said, make believe that there's a bench around that tree. Now I said, think of Jesus. Now he's sitting on that bench. Now think of yourself in Jesus' arms. And he's holding you and telling you he loves you and he cares about you and not to worry. I said, sometimes that's what I have to do. I have to put myself in Jesus' lap.
And the lesson she teaches has clearly reached young hearts in the parish.
She inspires me to understand how God loves us and how he is very nice and loving, slow to anger, easy to forgive.
The youngsters of the parish also have learned the special role they play in bringing joy to Norma's life.
She always says she doesn't do it for her, she always does it because she loves having fun with the kids and singing, and it just fills her up with joy. So I think that's really nice.
Norma also inspires adults of the parish and has this advice for those who, like herself, may be struggling with disabilities.
I would say put your trust in God and keep praying. That's it. That's the main thing. And love him, because he loves you more than you love him.
And just as important as praying, she says, try to stay active and have fun.
I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like to do things with kids that make them laugh.
Faith, love, and laughter, a recipe for life and a reason to keep on singing. For Real to Real, I'm Rebecca Drake.
What an inspirational story. We hope that you enjoyed the program today from the grounds of the Big E in West Springfield. Thanks so much to Jean Cassidy and the folks here at the Big E for hosting our visit today. Remember, the fair runs through September 28th, so there is still time to come on down and enjoy all that New England has to offer in one place. And remember, keep up to date on all of the news in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world by logging on to iobserve.org, or you can also like us on our Facebook page, Catholic Communications. I will see you next week as we pay a visit to the Berkshires and St. Peter's Church in Great Barrington. That's right here on Real to Real, your window on the world around you. Have a great week.
Real to Real is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.